Okay, I'm in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. And we're coming to Mr. B's Music Shop. It's a sort of actually, you can see amplifiers, guitars, and they've gone into music. So let's take a look. Okay, we're in Mr. B's. Now, they get a lot of psych music, and it's just well OGs. So let's look at some of these here. Country Joe and the Fish. Jeremiah. I am no expert in the world of psych, but a lot of you are. That's interesting. I just like the cover. And I can't read it. I'll have to put it again a little bit. Trying to hold the camera. Mr. Crystal Band. Nature Boy. Come down here. There's a Pro United States of America. Kinks. Richard, Second Coming. Gong. I said you can really go through the racks. There's a lot of stuff here. Right, Captain Ryan? Status Quo. All right, I know it's taking a while, but that's some of the stuff they have here. Then we got newer music here. They carry a nice, actually, selection of try to bring in some different punk albums. And polka. Orchids. New used arrivals, a little empty. Okay, I said it is a music store first. And I never knew ukuleles were as popular. I probably need a conga. My God. Look at them all. Wow. Wow. Some stuff out front. Now here's the used section. And so they do have a nice used section. Well, I've found a lot of stuff in here. Take you kind of through this. And you know, I found a lot of Kraftwerk originals in here. They get in some pretty cool collections. 45s. I like the Del Lords. Promotion. A lot of stuff. And over here. I also find music that I haven't seen here. Okay, there we go. It's Mr. B's music on Pleasant. And there's the electric. This is the other part of Mr. B's shop. And you can just see guitars, and more. Pretty cool. So let's talk about some albums I brought back into my collection. And there's some more really good ones. But first, the opening. That's Mr. B's. Now, I don't say Mr. It's just B's Music Shop. B's Music Shop in Mount Pleasant. It's about 30 miles from here. It's basically a music shop. Guitars, everything. But they've had records, and they've had records for quite some time. And they've expanded it. And they're doing a pretty good business. You can get a hold of them. You saw something. It's bsmusicshop.com. bsmusicshop.com. That's their little sticker. They don't do much on Discogs, I don't believe, but their website does have it, though I was told it's not always the most up to date. For those that like psych records, there's a lot there. There's a musician that sells them a lot of his psych, in exchange for instruments and different things. So they've some really amazing things. Some of it's pretty expensive too. I mean, there's $800 albums there. So really, it's just tempting. You're looking at this stuff. Wow, I've never seen this. And salute, Gesundheit. Okay, so we're waiting for Kat to sit down. So neat place. If you're in Michigan, Mount Pleasant. That's right in the middle of the state. Right, almost smack dab in the middle of the state. And it's a nice little college town. Okay, well, we're gonna. Can we sit? I know, sneeze. Can we sit, Kat? Come on, down. Boy. All right, so let's begin with some records I got from my local store, Radio Wasteland, and these were big on my list of things to get back in. Ones that I had replacements. Sorry, Ma, forgot to take out the trash. You could see there was my original, but this is in pristine shape, though there is a little bit of a ding here. The inner sleeve, nice, really nice. Just in beautiful shape, this album. Kind of the first full LP by the replacements. They had, what was it? Sorry, Ma. This, what was that other one? Stink or something. I have it. But this was a neat one. They're really loud, snotty on here. They're just kind of coming into their own, learning what they want to do. Then their next full-length album was Hootenanny, and you can see where my vinyl that I did have. This is all on Twin Tone Records, and again, it is a really clean, nice copy. I believe this is more of a live album. It's on the Twin Tone label out of Minneapolis. I was working in Minneapolis at the time when they were taking off and Rooster doing it. So there was just so much excitement. Did I ever see them in concert? No, I really just didn't go to concerts. I had a couple of boys, and no, I wasn't going to spend the money on it. And really, I didn't have anybody that I knew that would go. It would have been by myself. But this is a step up from Sorry Mom Forgot to Take Out the Trash. You can see they're starting to do figure out their songwriting. But here's the big one, and this is the one I'm most excited about. Let It Be by The Replacements. Again, there is my original. This is one of my all-time favorite albums. You know, it's between this and Tim from The Replacements as what I consider to be the very best music that they made. You can see here, they have The Suburbs on there. Another great, that's The Replacements Stink. That was the one I was telling you about. It's just, you can see a few Minneapolis bands are on this. Minneapolis had a heck of a scene going on at that time. And really a lot of great bands. Soul Asylums began to take, starting up. But Let It Be. This one has Unsatisfied is one of the greatest songs ever. Gary's Got a Boner. They actually take part of the riff from a Ted Nugent song on that. Answering Machine is cool. Favorite Thing. Androgynous. They do Kisses, Black Diamond on here. And a few other covers. Great album. This thing is just outstanding. One of my all-time favorites. Absolutely love it. Couldn't believe I got it in such absolute beautiful condition. Did I just pick this up? The Damned. Now I had I had a reissue, a recent reissue that I had bought, and so my original is in that. But this came, and I saw this at a record store. This is 1986 reissue out of Germany. But colored vinyl, I thought, oh man, do I really need it? No, but I've never seen it, and hey, it's from Germany. So that was fun. Stiff Records, kind of a different look. So fun pickup there. Another one I had, here we go, Bo Diddley. This is a 80 repress, and I had the 80s repress on the Bo Diddley. Chess Records. By now, this was, I believe this came out when he was in the 60s. His first few albums were really, really good. Still, he had the great Bo Diddley stuff on there. Run Diddley Daddy he has on there. Say Man Back Again, where he's kind of rapping a little bit or telling jokes, which is, he does on a lot of his songs. But really great to find that one, bring that back in. Then, I said this is all from the 80s. I forgot to mention that. This is like all 80s stuff. That one I did buy in 84. So it's 80s, right? Del Fuegos. Man, when I bought this album, the song Don't Run Wild was out. And, the name of the album is Boston, Mass. I could not get enough of that Del Fuegos song, Don't Run Wild. So I could have just downloaded the whole thing. It's on Stiff Records. But I did like this album. I thought this was a really good album. It's super cheap. You can find it out there for not a lot of money. This thing's in just beautiful condition, better than probably the one I had. And so I was just happy. Again, it's a band out of Boston called Boston, Mass. They made a few albums. I think they broke up, but it was a group I really, really liked a lot. So the Del Fuegos. And speaking of the 80s, what's the 80s without She Blinded Me with Science? Thomas Dolby, yeah, goodbye greatest hits. Hey, if you're going to screw around, I'm tossing you off my lap, just so you know, bud. Nothing special on the inner sleeve, the Capitol Records. But, excuse me, one of those essential 80s albums. One of those 80s albums, if you like it, this is just one, MTV, right? That's where I saw first time Thomas Dolby on MTV. What a great video it was. And it was so dang catchy. So had to pick that up. Speaking of MTV, excuse me, the Human League, Fascination. This was the very first Human League album I had ever bought. It was Fascination. And I loved Fascination, but the video again is kind of a black and white, but like a red color was coming in. The ball would go out and would turn red. It was MTV was a video. It caught my attention, and the song Fascination was fantastic. Now, it's almost like an EP. There's really only 3 songs on the front, 3 songs on the back, and one of the back songs is just an extended mix of Fascination. So, it wasn't like they had a lot, but they were coming off, their big album Dare. So they needed something more, and this was the very first Human League I bought. So it was great to see that. Again, super cheap, doesn't cost a whole lot to get. Speaking of inexpensive albums, the Motels. Motels, when they originally came out, they were okay, but I had really grown to like them, and actually I had collected all of the Motels. Now, this is the one I really, really want to have. This is the one. There. And so Little Robbers is what's called, and of course this has on here, suddenly last summer, yes, suddenly. God, it's a cool song. But there's just a lot of other good stuff, kind of pop. Pop oriented. We have lots of synthesizer happening. Human League, lots of synthesizer. Thomas Dolby, lots of synthesizer. I wasn't going the hair metal route. I was just really into some of these synth bands like that. That's what really appealed to me. The other, and then of course more like the Replacements, The Left of the Dial, which one of the songs on the Replacements is Left of the Dial. Fun fact. So, that was my musical direction in the 80s. MTV influenced this, and then the Left of the Dial was just what I was finding, talking to people, and really getting into when I could find the stuff. Most of it was blind buying. I got a couple. Okay, so these aren't the next ones aren't the 80s. You can see it's pretty much 80s inspired. I thought I had saved my copy of this, but I hadn't, so I had to go out and get another one. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. This is really nice on here. Look at this inner sleeve. Let me pull it out here. And this is such a cool inner sleeve from United Artists. Isn't that great? I love the artwork on that. Oh my God, that is cool. Wow. The movie came out in '66, though I did a video and I claimed it was '68. This album was done in '68. That's when this was, pressed. But one of my all-time favorite soundtracks. Of all soundtracks, this is one of my very top. Twin Peaks is better. But it is just, it isn't like every song's great on here, but what is great is incredibly great, and that movie would have been nothing without the soundtrack. Man, that was good. Great job, Morricone. Then this I had Out of Your Heads by the Rolling Stones. It has Satisfaction on here. It also has Play with Fire, The Last. On this album, Jagger and Richards were beginning to write. And I think they wrote 3 songs on here. Otherwise, they'd just been doing covers, more covers. And they began to find their groove. Also, I think this is big. Phil Spector plays percussion. So, you listen to that percussion and go, that's Phil Spector. That's that crazy man. Listen to that percussion go. I'm a fan of early Stones. I really like the early Stones. I like a lot of the Rolling Stones. I think they're a great group. They made so many good songs. When you look at their history, how long they have gone on and how many classic albums, put them against anybody else. Nobody has it. But their early stuff just had such a nice blues. They're more of an R&B to me than blues. They really were good with R&B, with the rhythm and blues. So, nice find. This is nice and clean. It is not, an original, but an earlier repress. So, good to have. And the final one, I believe, one of those only costs $1. Yes, I buy dollar records. I know some people may not. I gotta get the sticker off. Van Morrison's Into the Music. This came out in '79. It's kind of an underrated Van Morrison album, but it starts off with Bright Side of the Road. Then it goes into Full Force Gale and Stepping Out Queen. 3 top-notch Van Morrison songs. It is a very good, it capped off the 70s, which to me was his best work. You know, that young guy out there doing it. And, you know, bargain bin fodder, it's everywhere in bargain bins, but it is a very good. If you see it there, oh, is it a good Van Morrison? This is a good Van Morrison. Really neat stuff on there, so happy to have that. So that's what we brought back into my collection. You know, it stacks up for a few weeks, for a month or so as it comes, and then we can do one of these videos. But just excited, especially the replacements. That was such an important album. Those were very important albums because it is one of my favorite groups. So, and then we got 80s synth. So, thank you very much. Cat says thank you also, or he's sneezing, and I appreciate it. Everyone have a great week. Bye.